This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine. You see the sea, I'll see the sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, shine,
Rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Wednesday, April the 23rd of 2025, day 113th of the year. And only 252 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yes, infiltration and Radio Big is the way that we kind of go about everything as we are talking and hanging out and doing our deity. Doing our deed. You know what I'm saying. So anyways, how are you? Seriously, how are you? How are things? So let's talk real quick because it is Whip 'em Out Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It is that middle day of the week. Next week, not starting on Monday, but next week, starting Tuesday, we will be broadcasting live from Banff, Energy Safety Canada. Love to see you there. Would love to see you there. If not, just tune in. SafetyFM.com, RadioBig.fm. We will be streaming from there. Streaming. Yeah, because that's what we do. We stream everything going around. So yeah, you'll have the opportunity to take a listen and drop into some of the stuff that we're doing at Energy Safety Canada. That's next week coming from Banff. Keep in mind that if you are on the Pacific West Coast, the time change. There will be a time change from our show, so we'll have to figure out how we're going to do that. So listen, I can't drop in at our normal standard 7 o'clock in the morning time because it'll be 4 o'clock in the morning there. Not really sure if a lot of places will let me in at 4 o'clock in the morning. I can try, but I just don't know if that's going to work that way. Plus, we'll be there throughout the event, throughout the whole day. So what does that mean? That means I will be popping in and out throughout the day for what's going on there. So, and we'll record some podcasts, do some live sessions, all that kind of fun stuff that we get to do. And hopefully get to meet some new friends while we're there. So people go, new friends? You mean new people? Nope, I mean new friends. That's exactly what I meant. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about what we do here. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. Simple process, how we do it. We bring in some professional broadcasters. They talk about the stuff that's going on, and then we kind of move from there. It's just the process of the process is how it goes. So you get to hang out with us. We get to hang out with you, which we're extremely pleased about, and then we go from there. Isn't that fun? I think it's fun. I think it's super fun. If you want to interact with the show, call in radio.com. Video, audio, and text messaging. Right there, everything that we get to do. And people already hit me up in the chat box inside of there, which is always a fun part. So with that being said, I have some professional broadcasters that are waiting to talk about everything that's going on inside of the world of the multiverse. But why don't we talk real quick about what the hell was trending first?
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends of the ends of the ends, here's what we got. Notable and noteworthy, the latest on the passing of the Pope. We'll talk about that here in just a few. Newly released audio footage seems to support Shannon Sharpe's accuser. And the Academy now says that those who vote for the Oscar winners need to watch the movies that they are voting for. I wonder how they're going to check that. And then Megan Sussex lifts the lid on her brand new change, if she is to be believed. So, a lot of stuff, little time, and we'll get it moving. So, if you're ready, we will bring in the pro broadcasters, and they will start moving and grooving and doing all of their fun stuff. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring you our friends from Feature Story News and go from there.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. The body of Pope Francis will lie in state in St. Peter's Basilica from Wednesday. Thousands of mourners have been heading to the Vatican to pay their respects. He died on Easter Monday at the age of 88, and his funeral will take place on Saturday. Peter Carpenter from the Young Catholic Network believes Pope Francis has left his mark on the Catholic Church.
The precedent that he set is one of an open church, one which very much holds to the truth and does not compromise on that, as the church should not, but in an extremely generous and charitable way with the very most open arms. A sort of radical inclusivity that the church hasn't seen before. I think that's the precedent that the Pope has set.
FSN reporter John Beaver is at the Vatican.
People that I've been speaking to have said that they just want to come and pay their condolences. I spoke to one lady who'd arrived in Rome, and she arrived with nowhere to stay. She just decided that she absolutely had to be here and made sure that she was here, and then was going to worry about where she was actually going to stay when she got here. That's the level of devotion that some had for Pope Francis. He was, of course, known as the People's Pope. He was a Pope who was not afraid to point out injustices in the world, whether that was poverty or climate change or the global south, the plight of migrants. All of those issues mean that his papacy very much echoed with a lot of people and were important to a lot of people.
At least 26 people have died in an armed attack in India-administered Kashmir. Hundreds were visiting a popular tourist site in the Himalayan province when gunmen opened fire, killing some at point-blank range. World leaders, including US President Donald Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin, have expressed their solidarity with India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's been on a foreign trip, has cut his schedule short to be on home soil, as Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already posted on social media platform X saying that he condemns this attack, and there is a sense that the armed forces are going to launch a massive operation against the militants, against these armed attackers. A search operation is already underway. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also cut short his visit to Saudi Arabia.
Tesla boss Elon Musk says he'll reduce the time he spends working on the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency. It comes as the electric car maker's profits slumped in the first quarter of the year. The UK is hosting diplomats from Ukraine, the US, France and Germany for the latest talks on Wednesday, aimed at securing a ceasefire in the Ukraine conflict. Donald Trump's Ukraine envoy Keith Kellogg is attending after his special envoy Steve Witkoff and Secretary of State Mark Rubio pulled out. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the campaign in Britain to stop President Trump's state visit later this year. Last week, the president announced that he expects to be making that historic second state visit, an unprecedented honour bestowed upon him by King Charles and the British government in September. But public calls for the invitation to be rescinded are growing, fuelled by many Trump policies, including his global trade war, mass deportations and threats to force Greenland to join the United States.
Of course, Keir Starmer should rescind the state visit. If it goes ahead, then we are going to protest and mobilise.
Seema Sayeeda is a leader of the Stop Trump coalition.
We know that the majority of the British public is really angry with Trump. They don't support Trump, and they'll be joining us on the streets as well. And what we're trying to do is call for Keir Starmer and all of our political elites, from Labour, Reform, the Tories, to actually stand up to Trump and stop being bootlickers. A state visit is the highest honour, and that's actually just not necessary. Britain needs to stand up to what Trump is doing to us.
It is not clear whether the UK has agreed that the state visit should take place in September, but certainly government leaders insist that it will go ahead and is a fresh symbol of the historic transatlantic relationship that they say still ties the two countries together. I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, the body of Pope Francis is lying in state in St. Peter's Basilica from Wednesday. At least 26 people have died in an armed attack in Indian-administered Kashmir. Tesla boss Elon Musk says he'll reduce the time he spends working on the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency, and the UK is hosting diplomats from Ukraine, the US, France and Germany for the latest talks aimed at securing a ceasefire in the Ukraine conflict. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm. Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what could be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, yes, that's how it goes. We bring you information that you might have never cared about if you were not sure on what the hell was going on. That is it. Anyways, let's go ahead and get in some news sequences here about some of the stuff that's going on inside of the multiverse, because that's just kind of the way that it goes as we are talking, hanging out, and doing all of our stuff. Okay, so some developments following the death of Pope Francis on Monday. The funeral will be held on Saturday at 10 a.m. local time. So that is local time in the Vatican, or 3 a.m. Central Time in the U.S. Not that I'm in Central Time, but just trying to give it to you right in the middle. Okay, so the Pope's coffin will be carried to St. Petersburg Basilica in a procession today that includes the entire College of Cardinals, the Dean of the College of Cardinals, and let's see, we'll celebrate the funeral. Well, yeah, we'll celebrate the funeral mass is what they call it. So, and who of the world leaders will attend on Saturday? Well, President Trump and Melania Trump, Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine, Emmanuel Macron from France. Let's see, representatives from Italy, Keir Starmer from the UK, some people from Germany. Prince William will also attend to represent King Charles. I mean, I'm sure that's just naming very few, but that gives you some idea of what the hell's going on there. So finally, following the final public appearance on Sunday, Francis reportedly had a quiet dinner but felt ill upon waking up around 5:30 in the morning on Monday. Dying a little over an hour later, Francis reportedly thanked his nurse for encouraging him to make the public appearance on Sunday, despite his own concerns over his health and strength. Francis' last will and testament includes only instructions for the burial. He asked to be interred near the Pauline Chapel, and the tomb must be in the earth, simple, without particular decorations, and with only the inscription Franciusis. Streaming analyst firm Luminat reports that online viewing of the movie Conclave, which depicts in detail the Papal Enclave process, spiked 283% on Monday. If you're interested in the flick, it's included on Amazon Prime. I will tell you, it's kind of interesting. And I know that we're only on Wednesday, but I've already spoken to several people that when I talked to them about the whole thing with the Pope, they were like, yeah, I watched Conclave. And I was like, I didn't realize this was kind of like the defaulto movie to go to that people were talking about this thing. So weird. So I don't know. Because that would be like you talking to me and I was like, I watched Blade Runner. I watched Total Recall. I mean, I'm joking as I say that, but it's kind of weird that is your default response of, I watched this. You know that most movies are fiction. And even the ones that are said based on true life story normally don't follow what exactly goes on. That drives me crazy talking about that, by the way. About when people are like, oh, yes, I watched this movie and this happened and all this other stuff happened. And then two of the characters that are the main characters were dead or died in a scene that nobody was able to talk to them afterwards. It's like, how do you know that this is what they said? So anyways, I know I get hung up on all kinds of weird stuff.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, okay, yes. To answer the questions that are coming in, yes, the shirt does say safe, not boring. It is a reference to Dr. Martha Acosta's book. No, seriously, that's the reference. No, that is the reference to it. You know, Martha Acosta, friend of the show. HopHub.com. What is it? Martika.com, too, if you're not aware. Are you not familiar with it? I thought you would for sure be familiar with this book. I will give you the name because I don't want to butcher it because I am terrible with remembering names to stuff. Seriously. So you want the name of the book? Okay, I'll give you the name of the book. Safety Capacity by Dr. Martha Acosta. Leadership Practices for Failing Safely. Mm-hmm. It's out there. Doom, 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 doom. Yep. It's available on the Amazon network of stuffer offers. Yep. So go take a look at it. But that's where the shirt came from. She was kind enough to give me this lovely thing. I was pretty excited when I got it, by the way. So there you go. Here's the fun part. I was actually given to me while I was in Australia, out of all places. And she's from Santa Fe. And I was like, hold on, this is a long tour this shirt took, but cool stuff. Anyway, sorry about that, but people asked, so I figured I would just give the answer. Let's get into it, because that's going to be the important part. Let's talk about some tariff stuff. In the afternoon press conference, President Trump said that he anticipates making deals with China to establish new trade terms. The International Monetary Fund has revised the global economic growth forecast down 0.5 percentage point for this year as a result of Trump's reimagined global trade scheme. He didn't give concrete timelines because, of course, he didn't, but he said deals would be finalized very quickly. We're going to be very nice. They are going to be very nice, and we're going to see what happens, Trump said in prime rhetoric form. The public backlash against Elon Musk and Tesla hit the automaker's bottom line for the first quarter earnings that was announced on Tuesday, showing the total revenue down by 9% year over year, with the net income down by 71%, but was still in the black with $409 million. Musk said that he'll remain active with Doge for a day or 2 weeks. A day to a week. Day or two a week. Okay, let's get that right. Day or two a week until the job gets done. And then he's returning to focus on Tesla next month. Tesla stock surged in the after-hours trading once the news hit the circuit.
Hit the circuit!
So there you go. Also, a federal court hears the argument about how to break up the tech giant Alphabet. Artificial intelligence company OpenAI said to the court that it would be open to buying the Google Chrome browser. OpenAI recently suggested it's building its own social media platform. Acquiring a new web browser would be yet another path towards owning a fire hose of user information to train AI models. And speaking of training data, the Jeff Bezos-owned Washington Post will license its content to OpenAI to assist ChatGPT program and provide real-time news information. So there you go. When I turned into a Martian, yep, that's what's going to happen. I'm telling you, these things get more and more interesting as we move forward. It's like the shit mutates on its own. Like, seriously, this is what comes to mind when we start talking about this stuff. Think about where we were a few years ago. Think about how you looked at AI a few years back. And think about where we are right now. And this is April the 23rd in 2025. 24 minutes past the 7 o'clock hour in the Eastern time zone. So where are we going to be in a year from now? Because, listen, I talk about this a little bit. I've been talking about this a little bit recently. We've gotten to the portion that between deep fakes, how things can be programmed inside AI, and I'm not picking on AI, I'm just saying in general, on what you can create. So I can't even fathom what it's going to look like. And I mean, if you look at some of these, like this Real Engine that's done by some of these gaming companies, that is a very popular system, this Real Engine, there's some of the stuff that I look at on that Real Engine, and you can download that program for free. I can't tell the difference in what looks real in regards of what's real world, or if it's recorded or if it's made, because that's how good some of the systems are getting now. So how's it going to look here in just a short period of time? So that's some stuff to start thinking about as we are talking. Anyways, kids these days, 2 teenagers, young men, sprang into action after a man suffered a medical emergency while driving and crashed into an Ohio river near Louisville, Kentucky. When officials arrived to the scene, the rescuers were in the water helping the driver and helped secure a rope from the vehicle so it wouldn't float away. Local law enforcement credits their quick thinking with saving the day, saying in a statement, the quick action of these young men helped turn a potential tragedy or tragic situation into a positive outcome. So there you go. Also, a Michigan man won $1 million lottery scratch off after a cashier gave him the ticket for the wrong game. The winner, who's remaining anonymous, said that the cashier noticed her mistake and offered to correct it, but he went ahead and went with it anyways. The next morning, he discovered that he won the full jackpot. In overexcited panic, he put the ticket in a mason jar and buried it in his yard. The winner's opting for the $634,000 lump sum payout. So here's the question. Is this person going to go back and be like, hey, I appreciate you this stuff up yesterday or whatever it was, in regards of when you gave me this ticket, because if you wouldn't have given me the wrong, I would still be here, probably still not winning. So thanks for what you did. Okay, so what else do we got? A new study published by the Medical Journal of Aging and Mental Health found that middle-aged adults in the United States report feeling lonelier than their counterparts living abroad. The study surveyed more than 64,000 adults ages 50 and up from 29 countries. The U.S. and the Netherlands were the only 2 places where loneliness peaked in middle age rather than for seniors. Factors leading to the feelings of loneliness includes not working, being unmarried, probable depression, and having poor self-health. This is according to ABC. Worth noting, in 2023, the U.S. Surgeon General warned about the impact of loneliness has on one's health, similar to smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. So there you go. What else do we got? Holocaust survivor Walter Frankenstein, and that's not a made-up last name, has passed away on Monday in Stockholm, according to the foundation that oversees Berlin Holocaust Memorial. Frankenstein, along with his wife and infant son, survived the hiding in Berlin. He was 100 at the time of his passing. Actress Sophia Newid has died. She passed away on April the 14th, according to an obituary. While no cause of death was given, her family did write that self-medicated to deal with all of the trauma and shame that she held inside, and it resulted in her death. Sophie is known for her roles in Mammoth and Noah. She was only 24 at the time of her passing. 24. Awfully young for sure. What else do we got? Do we want to talk about the Tiger King? Let's talk about the Tiger King. Tiger King star Joe Exotic married fellow inmate Jorge Marquez. Exotic 62, Marquez is 33. This is Exotic's third marriage. So there you go. 3 marriages. Okay. Let's get swampy real quick. The El Salvador government has denied the request from multiple Democrat legislators to visit with deported illegal immigrant Kilmar Garcia. Rep. Maxine Dexter of Oregon, she'll remain in the country until she secures Garcia's release. So there's that. Why is a rep from Oregon doing this? Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced a reorganization plan for the nation's foreign policy apparatus. And the plans to decrease the headcount by 15% to close more than 100 offices around the globe. So here's some other news. While the collective move from some other stuff that happened in the previous administration, they want to forget the what was it? Let's see. We not to forget the water carrying and lie telling from the Democrat power broker. What the hell is this? And the media establishment perpetrated the outright fraud of the former president was mentally well. Watch Elizabeth Warren try to wiggle her way out of it, trying to explain the cover up and the arrogant struggle that she. I hate when somebody gives me a news story and it's so edited in one way or the other, because it's like, just give me information and let's kind of work with it. I mean, I don't even understand what the hell this is trying to say overall. So there you go. Let's talk real quick about the numbers, because we need to do that. The Dow increased by 1,016 points to close at 39,186 on Tuesday. So there's that for you if you wanted to take a look at that. What else do we have here? Let's say... And then the S&P increased by 129 points to close at 5,287, and the NASDAQ increased by 429 points to close at 16,300. West Texas Intermediate closed at $64 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $67 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.16 on Tuesday. Bitcoin surged on Tuesday, up over 4% and trading back up over 91,000. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for a $151 million jackpot, or a $69.3 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. Okay, we're going to get Rumor Millie here real quick, because this is making the circles, making the circuits. So let's talk about it. Follow up from the audio footage that alleged featured Shannon Sharpe threatening to choke his accuser, and a clip that the man believed to be the former football player is heard saying, "You want to be a dick? Hold on. You want to be a dick to me now?" To which the woman replies, "Don't manipulate me. Lord have mercy. If you say the word one more time, I'm gonna choke the out of you when I see you," the man threatens. Sharpe is being sued by an ex for $50 million. He has denied accusations of this actually going down. So there you go. Some stuff happening inside of the world of the multiverse. So there you go. If you really want to take a deep dive into some of that stuff, you can go to page 6. It's a really popular website, just in case. Anyways, 32 minutes past the top of the hour, and it's time to do our thing that we need to do around here. So let's go ahead and get into the story of the main of the story, because I think it's going to be important for us to talk about.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, some main story times to talk about the stuff that we love, to talk about the stuff that we do, to talk about the stuff that we endure inside of here. So, I don't even know where to start sometimes when it comes to some of this stuff, because without it sounding a little hokey, I really kind of wonder how we go about and do the work that we do. So, listen, I will tell you, based on experience and talking to a lot of people, it seems that a lot of times people that are in the safety department, and I don't mean this in a bad way, are thrown in there. They're not someone who built their career to make it to safety. Now, that's changed significantly over the years, but kind of some of the older gen, was this something that they were put into, not as punishment, but just because, hey, it sounds like you might be good at this. And so that happens, and then the world changes. That happens, and you have somebody who's there that might have came from operations, they might have came from a different aspect of the workplace, without ever knowing exactly what they're looking into. Does that make sense so far? I hope it does. So we never know where their foundation is. And it gets weird because foundations can sometimes be confused with values. And that's not kind of a good house to build stuff on, because your values can be much different than mine. I remember Scott Geller talking to me years and years ago during an interview that we did together that values will always supersede priorities. You'll wear clothes when you leave your house because that is a value on how you do stuff. And other things will be more of priorities. And I get it. It makes sense to me. So as we go through some of this stuff, you have to understand that we have to look sometimes at stuff with a different lens, a different way of doing life, a different way of how do we do things. So what right now inside of your organization is the foundation of the culture within the organization? What is the foundation that the thing is built on? And listen, if we're staying real as possible, most of the time, the foundation of the culture inside of the organization is built on profit. Seriously, it's built on profit. People worry about profit, then they build everything else around it. So how do you look at that? Because here's where it gets extremely strange. We can sit here and talk about profit. We can talk about cost. And if you do the combination of both, if you are in the safety department, is what we'll quote unquote call it, you're a cost center. If you're in operations and you're making money, you're considered a profit center. Just kind of how it always works. So we have to start looking at what is our foundation, because as we're talking, the foundation moves. Well, hopefully it doesn't move, but the foundation kind of moves along the lines of how it's being built based off of that. Because you have foundation, because you have a lens that goes through, the problem that you run into is that sometimes when you're giving the information to people, things can be in a different kind of filter.
Like this.
Like that.
Like this.
Like that.
Like this.
Like that.
But you get the point. The filter can be on the receiver. The lens can be different depending on the person that's looking. And maybe that's the stuff to talk about. How does the foundation work with the culture of the organization? And is it what you're looking for? Are you looking at it as a foundational point? Are you looking at it as a value point? Because remember, just because you have a foundation in X, remember that the workplace normally will have what they call a value proposition on how they look at stuff. I know, a lot of jargon it sounds like this morning, but if you think about it and give it some ideas and go, okay, this works, doesn't work, maybe it will take you to a totally different place than what you expected.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety
Don't go
FM.
anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Embrace a daily boost of nature with Field of Greens. Discover the simple power of one scoop to elevate your well-being. Enjoy the flavor that appeals to you the most and let the blend of organic fruits and vegetables enhance your life. Experience the following benefits with Fields of Greens. Noticeable energy increase to power you throughout the day.
Improved quality of sleep.
Enhanced digestive comfort and a general uplift in your wellness. Field of Greens stands out with the selection of organically grown ingredients, each carefully picked for its benefits to your heart and overall health. We are confident that you'll appreciate the benefits of Field of Greens. If it doesn't meet your expectations, we offer a straightforward money-back guarantee. Jumpstart your health journey with a special offer, 15% off your first purchase plus complimentary expedited shipping. Just visit fieldofgreens.com and use the code SAFETYFM to redeem your discount. That's SAFETYFM at fieldofgreens.com. Experience nature's touch at fieldofgreens.com/SAFETYFM. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello.
Radio Big.
USA, Canada, UK.
Holy shit, should I say welcome to Club Rated R Safety Show? What is going on here? Yeah, I'll be your love and I'll be your sunshine is what it's sounding like here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so just in case it is 45 minutes past the top of the hour, we are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show, streaming across Safety FM, Radio Big, you know, in all those little popular, lovely networks. This right here is called Sunshine, in case you did not know. And this is by Luco. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music. So there you go. I'll be your love. I'll be a sunshine. I mean, I know. I just can't hit the stop button. I don't know what's going on. You start giving me some techno beats, and I get lost inside of there. Yeah, I know, kind of a strange thing, but this is how it works. Just how it works. I just can't stop. By the way, thanks for the people telling me that it looks like the signal broke up. The signal broke up on the video. Thanks. We'll see what we can do. Get that fixed. In regards of that. So if you're on the radio side of the house, yeah. It went down. Apparently, the video went down. So we'll see if we can get that immediately back to you. Oopsies! I probably hit a button over here because I'm known for hitting randos. So there you go. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, look at the information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. A lot of stuff, little time. That's the way that it normally goes. To Write Love on Her Arms. Okay, so let's talk real quick about some things going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's what we do around here. We talk about everything. So let's talk about the $1 rule. Should we do about that? Yes. Okay. Well, some are still arguing about the merits of the no spend challenge. A financial planner has shared her alternative. Bernadette Joy says that rather than using the traditional skimp and save method to wipe out debt or building savings, her $1 rule is the way to go. Her buy it if you're going to get a good value from it approach is pro spending, but only if the math works. It works like this. Simply take the cost of something divided by the number of times that you're likely going to use it, and if it's less than $1 per use, then buy it. If it's something that you're going to use, if it's more than $1 per use, walk away. An example, if you're thinking about buying a cheap pair of shoes and they cost $50 and you wear them twice, the cost per use is $25. Using the rule of one, that's a hard no. You might also consider spending $350 on a high quality pair of shoes. You know, you'll wear them for years. That you might wear them 400 times. That's less than $1 per wear. So that would be a thumbs up purchase. Admittedly, there are exceptions to this rule. Concert tickets and travel expenditures among them. But Joy says that the dollar rule also is stretching from your hard-earned money as far as you can. Nice. So who got $350 to lend me? The rule says that I need to buy some of those nice shoes. I mean, I'm just saying. Anyone want to go for a ride? I got to drive my car about 39,000 more times before the lease is up. So there you go. I don't know. So some stuff to think about for sure. Would you apply this rule to your life? Would you apply it to some of the things that you would deem that are important? I'm just asking the question. I just want to have a better understanding. It's an interesting thing. I mean, I don't know. How do you look at stuff? I mean, that's how sometimes I justify a phone. I don't know if I go by the rule of one. It's like, if I'm going to use this many times before I get rid of it, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know. It's weird justifications in the braino on how it's on how things go. Okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and do this. Let's bring some John Smalls into our life. Let him tell us about what the hell's going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by John. Susan B. Anthony said, "Nothing is hopeless that is right." Very nice quote. Have you ever worked on a project that seemed hopeless? I've been there. I worked on launching a brand new community event. The committee was bigger than we needed, and we had more meetings than we needed, but nothing seemed to progress. A few of us would do everything we said we'd do. Others would show up with the same empty promises they had at the last meeting. I finally called them on it, and they quit working on the project. We rapidly moved forward without them. They brought nothing to the table but excuses and dead weight.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. I agree with C.S. Lewis, who said, "To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything, and your heart will certainly be wrung and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give it to no one. Lock it up safe in the casket of your selfishness. But in that casket, safe, dark, motionless, airless, it will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable." End of quote. No one in his right mind wants a broken heart. But a broken heart is better than an unbreakable heart. Jesus taught us that. Lord Jesus, thank you for showing us a broken heart is better than an unbreakable heart. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
The world is mourning the death of Pope Francis, who passed away early yesterday at the age of 88 following a battle with an illness. Tributes are pouring in from global leaders and citizens alike, remembering the first Latin American pontiff known for his humility and focus on the marginalized.
The Vatican has initiated the centuries-old process for selecting a successor, which involves specific rituals culminating in a papal conclave. Cardinals from around the world will gather to elect the next leader of the 1.4 billion Catholics globally. Details regarding the funeral arrangements are expected soon. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Yesterday, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance has arrived in India for a significant 4-day visit, marking the first trip by a U.S. Vice President to the country in over a decade.
Discussions are expected to focus heavily on strengthening bilateral ties and potentially advancing negotiations on a major U.S.-India trade deal. Other key geostrategic issues and areas of cooperation are also likely to be on the agenda. The visit underscores the importance of the relationship between the two nations. Jim Kender reporting.
The United States and Iran have reportedly held constructive discussions regarding Tehran's nuclear program, according to statements attributed to President Trump.
While details remain limited, officials indicated that progress was made and plans are in place for further dialogue. The talks come amidst ongoing efforts to manage tensions and find diplomatic solutions related to the nuclear issue. International observers are watching closely for signs of a potential agreement. Liam White reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
U.S. stock markets experienced a significant drop yesterday, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average falling at one point over 1,200 points.
Trump warned of a potential economic slowdown unless the central bank implements rate cuts. The market volatility reflects ongoing uncertainty surrounding trade tariffs and the administration's public comments on monetary policy. Investors are closely monitoring the situation and potential future actions by the Federal Reserve. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Severe weather battered parts of the central United States over the weekend, leaving at least 3 people dead in Oklahoma. The storms brought tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds, and significant flooding to the region.
One fatality occurred when a tornado struck the community of Spalding, while 2 others, including a child, died when floodwaters swept away a vehicle near Moore. Emergency crews are continuing damage assessments and search operations as cleanup begins. Further rounds of storms are possible in the affected areas. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Google is set to face the U.S. government in a Washington court over allegations that the tech giant operates an illegal monopoly in the online search market.
This case represents a major challenge to Google's dominance in search and online advertising. The outcome could significantly impact how the company operates and potentially reshape the digital landscape. Regulators are seeking remedies to ensure fair competition in the market. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, that sounds pretty intense, no doubt about that. As we are talking, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date in 2013. Hackers again accessed the Associated Press Twitter account and sent message that the president was injured in an explosion at the White House. While within moments, the Dow Jones started to collapse as the AP scrambled to fix the mess, but the chaos quickly subsided and the stock market recovered. In the same week, the Twitter accounts of 60 Minutes and 48 Hours were also hacked by perpetrators were not caught. That happened back on this date in 2013. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Gigi Hadid turns 30. Dave Patel turns 35. Jesse Lee Soffer turns 41. Tayo Cruz turns 45. Jamie King, 46. John Oliver turns 48. John Cena turns 48. Cal Penn turns 48. George Lopez, 64. Valerie Bertolini turns 65. And Michael Moore turns 71 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, it's Lover's Day. Really? Okay, so what happened to Valentine's Day then? National Take a Chance Day. Oh, I guess Lover's Day and National Take a Chance Day makes sense. Okay, National Talk Like a Shakespeare Day, Spanish Language Day, Administrative Professional Day, World Book Day, National Picnic Day, and English Language Day. So a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse is what it sounds like out there. So there you go. Some things to talk about as we are hanging out. No doubt, right there. So with that being said, cool stuff, buddy. So thanks for hanging out. Let's give you a rando for today if you're looking for one of those, because that's kind of part of the gig. If you need a random joke, try this. Nothing cures insomnia like realizing it's time to get up. What else? If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's the worst smelling place you've ever been? Can we talk about that? Okay. Also, if you need a question for the water cooler, try this. A survey found that more than half of the U.S. or half of us think that the supermarkets and pharmacies should be open 24/7, and 19% think that business should be too. What is it? What this business should be open 24/7 as well? What is this business? I don't know if you can call it a business because it's really a doctor's office, but it's the dentist. The dentist, el dentista. 19%. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together. Thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday. I'll be going over to radiobig.fm for the next couple hours or so if you want to come and hang out with me and do that kind of stuff. If you don't, that's fine. You can hang out here on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he is talking about the world of safety consulting. So that's it. That's going to sum up my time. Thank you for your time because it's always important as you and I get to hang out together. So thank you for being involved. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough. See what I did there? Play on words. Anyways, that's it. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and/or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios. as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.